Hello one and all, and welcome to New York. Joseph F. Facina Field in New Rochelle, where the 4-1 New York Empire are playing host to the 3-2 Boston Glory, who come into this East Division matchup vying for playoff positioning already. The Glory, they have never beaten the New York Empire, whether it was on the road or away. And Keith, we're only 2 weeks since the last matchup between these two teams, and they know each other, of course. And of course, Jeff Babbitt and Tanner Johnson go, the two quote-unquote bigs for this offense, with Tyler Chan being the main initiator, which is what the head coach for the Glory, Sam Rosenthal, told us before the game. Goes long from Sunday to Carapella, who jumps into the end zone. So a quick answer from the Glory.
Boston, a team that hasn't had a lot of roster consistency, and so I think they're still experimenting a lot with how they want to deploy their personnel.
It's Weinberg up again. This will be Oliver Chartok. Skying Stang Osborne. Says he's not in. Home back to Oliver Chartok, who has both Empire goals so far. And it is always so funny, Keith, that into this week, the national narrative, of course, Ben Yot, Jeff Babbitt, and those names that you talk about. But so far this game, it's been Charles Weinberg, it's been Oliver Chartok.
Another strong goal line stand, this time from the Empire. We saw a similar thing on Boston's part. Both teams being patient as they go to the end zone.
And finally, it's Jeff Babbitt to that side of the end zone. The Empire know that that's a space that he's comfortable in. And seeing his Boston Glory debut, Malachi Raymond, the number 24. Another huck. This one from Oliver Chartok floats up a little bit, and Jack Williams jumped up early, but that defended by two Glory defenders.
Chartok putting up a hanger and asking a lot of Jack Williams, leaves him out to dry.
This is the answer from the Glory, going deep to Orion Cable. Had a beat on Jeff Holm. Now for the second break chance of the game. That's Solomon Mertzmeyer Bailey in the end zone against Orion Cable. And then stepping through the double team for Turner Allen. Reed Browning, the rookie.
Pair of Vermont teams.
And interesting for Sadok, who has two different matchups in this game, and the length of Brownlee on one D-line, and then the intensity of Josue Aloro on the other. Chan with Johnson go. He's going to have to lay out for it, and he does. All 5 fingers and the slide. A lot of patience from this vert stack for the Empire O. And Holm is going to throw it up for Weinberg, who had to sky too to come down with it. And now it's Yacht, who's able to bring it in through the breadbasket. And now Orion Cable playing on this O point, and talking to Coach Rosenthal beforehand as it goes over the head of Chan and picked up by John Randolph. This is Brownlee wide open in the end zone. No reset, again being ever patient. The old Oregon product, Topher Davis, a veteran of the league. And Browning goes cross field. Holm can't get to it. And the first goal, maybe of many for the Glory, Malachi Raymond. And these two, you know each other so well from their UMass days. For a long time, were the #1 team in the country that season in 2016. Carapella on the around to Babbitt. Falls on the ground, but just make sure that he had it collected. And then little flick in to Sadok in the end zone. Still pressure from New York, but so disc is in. Here's Jack. Goes quickly to Charles Weinberg with Babbitt, the one to make the D.
Well, it looked like 1-2-3 score was exactly what they were going to do, but then they decided to throw it up in the air with Jeff Babbitt in the area.
And Babbitt looks a little shaken up on the play. Again, that may be the one guy for the Glory. Oliver Chartok, a nice break throw to Mertzmeyer Bailey into space. And Elliot Chartok, looks like it was a little bit of a misread from Yacht, but using that speed, just a mass of bodies in the middle of the field. Now it's a hammer over the top. Jack Williams for Ben Yacht again. Thinking about going over the top to Babbitt. Instead, it's going to be Sadok. into Dick. Still a lot of bodies there at the front of the end zone. Little flick in for Babbitt. Now he's got 3 goals in the game for a +6.
Group.
Yeah, both he and Wershmeyer Bailey after the game against Philly on the first flight out. Chartok, the huck to Ben Yacht, and Ben Yacht looking unstoppable tonight. Goal number 5 for him.
First flight out to Milwaukee, but now there's a first flight out to...
With 45 seconds remaining. Sadok double teamed by Brownlee and Williams. Sadok with the hammer. There's 2 back there. If it wasn't Orion Cable, it was going to be Jeff Babbitt in the back of the end zone. And Jeff Babbitt just handing off Yacht. So you know what the idea is for the Glory. Another double team over the top. Yacht with Babbitt coming. And instead it's going to be Oliver Chartok. And those are 2 guys that know each other well, with Ben Yacht recently on a podcast with the Colorado Summit crew saying that of all the times they
been able to wriggle out, and now they're back in their regular offense.
Yeah, if Agami Contreras had about 5 more inches as Carapella goes deep. Not often is he the gunslinger, but when Orion Cable is your target with a high stall count here, just lofting it up into the space, and Davis goes up. They say he got all disc with Carapella.
This is a chance to run this O-line into the ground. I kind of like the idea to leave him out on the field if you're the Empire. Try and tire out this Boston O-line as they get into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the only turnover from this Boston O-line was with Jeff Babbitt on the bench here as Tanner Johnson to pin Boston back. Still up by 1 though with 7 minutes remaining in the game. High stall count. Sunday in his own end zone. Sadok. The huck, Carapella, Mike Dross. Is this time for 200? Yes, it is! Mike Dross gets 200, and more importantly for the Empire, they get a chance to tie this game up at 14-all.
A tremendous defensive possession for the Empire D-line. More pressure from the Empire defense that's playing very well at this point.
It's a Loro in a crowd, and Babbitt and Johnson go, almost skying each other for it. And Peter Borth, he stays out there on offense. Had to track that down over Breton Tan. Sadok, the big super dump there, and looks like Josue Aloro went down as well before that final throw was into the end zone. So did the stoppage come before the throw? These teams kind of playing each other into form. You can feel, again, even when there's tension, and they say it's a good goal. Around the disc, forcing those handler recess. And that one, I think, just slipped out of his hand. Finds the outlet. Boston Glory on the cusp of history here. They'll just throw it up into a crowd. Yacht will get the D, but it doesn't matter. The Empire fall here for the first time in 6 years. As that is late, Randolph couldn't get the MAC from Jack Williams. And that sums up the evening just a bit as the New York Empire fall here. 4-2 is their record now. The Glory bump it up 4-2 to make a muddy scene at the top of the East Division with a date against the DC Breeze up in Boston on Sunday. But my, oh my, the Boston Glory making some history here tonight.